Afternoon, everybody. 2 down, one more left to go on a three home game stretch. You kind of look at it. We've been talking about it, just trying to find a way to put a complete game together in all three phases. And I think you saw just a little glimpse of that on Sunday. Guys went out, competed at a high level. Executed at a high level. We were able to kind of get it done there. It was good to get both Poe and Will back. Obviously, Will kind of had to miss there on the 47-yarder. But overall, he feels great. He's in a good spot. The miss wasn't anything injury-related or anything like that. Really thought he struck it well. Just really probably had just more of a kind of bad line more than kind of anything there. But Poe felt great getting back. It was awesome just to kind of get the unit call back together right there. And, we talk about it all the time, maximizing, the snaps that we do get from a special team standpoint, as it's kind of seemed like it's been minimum over these kind of past 2 weeks. You don't know if you're going to get 30 plays in the game or you're only going to get 15. But we were kind of able to do that with BA kind of being able to go punch that ball out right there. Really changed a huge momentum swing in the game from us going up 28-21. Kirk not seeing the ball back until he's down 14. Defense kind of got into it. Crowd kind of started getting a little bit rowdy, and from there we would kind of continue on the onslaught there to victory to get to 11 wins. So, just got to keep finding a way. Chicago Bear team coming in here a little banged up. We'll see how they adjust from a personnel standpoint, but they're still going to be hungry as ever. Monday night game, whiteout, looking forward to that. Also want to give a big shout out to C.J. Ham on being the Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate for us. He continues to do an unbelievable job off the field. That's always what it's all about at the end of the day, man. Your impact on the community and, him being a kind of hometown hero here. So, love what he's doing in the community. So let's make sure we get out and vote for him for sure.
On the holding call on the Falcons, what did you see there? It kind of looked like their guy just grabbed arms.
Yeah, so there's been a trend going on, you can call it, Matt, around the league that where what's happening is guys are swiping the down hand of linemen. That's kind of causing them basically to fall. And I guess, officials are starting to consider that to be technically holding on the field goal block team. And so they came to me prior to the game, kind of notifying me, like they're on the lookout for that, and they're considering calling it a defensive hold, and so kind of stay away from being able to kind of use that technique that's really an advantage to the field goal block team because obviously you got one hand down, using that as all your leverage, and your other hand, it's outside hand help. And so what happens is when that defender knocks that arm out, quite frankly, I'm end up toppling down to the ground right there. And so, the refs or officials are kind of seeing that as a holding call. So that's kind of what that penalty was there.
How often do officials approach you on stuff like that?
It depends on who the crew is. It also depends on the opposing coordinator. Maybe it's something that they alerting the opposing team doing, like, hey, be on the lookout. They do X, Y, and Z that could be considered, illegal as pull and snatch on a pressure return, or the swipe on a field goal block, or hey, this guy gets really handsy on KOR with his technique. Just kind of IDing certain guys or certain techniques that's showing up from previous weeks, and officials are looking at the tape of each team every Friday and just kind of going through it to see, like, okay, what do we need to be alerted for that could possibly come up in a game that we kind of got to have our eyes open for. And so that's kind of one of the things that they brought up to me. Yeah.
How cool is it for you to see Ryan make that play, just given what you talked about what he's meant to that unit, but just how cool is it for you?
Yeah, and I think it just, it just continues to show how he continues to assert himself as, the leader of the pack. Again, I asked a group several weeks ago, like, who's the true pulse of the unit? Who is the guy now that, you get the Josh Metellus who's gone on the defense, and IP has assumed a large role, obviously, as kind of that green dot, on the defensive side. And so you look at it, it's like, okay, well, who is the guy that's kind of next up here? And, BA standard, nice and firm to the unit. But obviously it goes much deeper than just talking about it. We talk about all the time, like, how there's no sound on the tape. So you can talk good and say all this and that, but until you put it on tape, none of that truly matters. And so, that's what he's been doing on a consistent basis, is putting it on tape, asserting himself as this physical, presence. And that's who we are as a unit. and it shows up week in and week out. And I'm just so appreciative of what he's doing from a practice standpoint. And you can see that practice execution turning into game reality, and that's the beauty of it as a coach. As you get into this league and you work so hard from a practice standpoint to see all of the everything that you put into it during the week show up on game day.
CJ's ability to recover that ball.
Huge. Yeah, huge. I mean, we work those type of drills all the time, whether, you call it, are you in the city where it's busy and, you're not in a position to be able to scoop the ball up versus are you in the country where no one's around. And so now I got the ability to go in and scoop it on up. And, that was a city situation right there for CJ to where, all right, now I got to find a way to dig, prowl, and scratch and claw. A lot of dirty things happen underneath those piles right there. For CJ to come out of that is amazing. It's awesome.
What happens in the pile?
What happens in the pile? A lot of things. Scratching, pinching, hitting certain areas, grabbing certain areas, but leave that to your imagination.
Was that, so were you guys trying to kick short on that one to get a return?
We always kind of call it a temptation ball at the end of the day. If we can kind of put that thing right at the goal line, analytics say if you can place it somewhere between the goal line or 2 yards deep, that's kind of where you want to put it at to give an opportunity to return. And more times than not, you're going to see success from a kickoff standpoint. So we always kind of like to give the opponent those type of balls to see if they're willing to kind of bring it out there. Will did a good job of kind of placing it on the goal line. We kind of felt momentum kind of coming our way, and so we were just trying to see if we can be able to capture that moment and kind of continue there.
When did you feel like, from a data perspective, that you had a big enough sample size to make determinations about this kickoff?
Probably after the first 6 weeks, I probably say. Usually, initially, we thought it would be 4 weeks. We would be able to kind of see the data, but it wasn't enough numbers there to truly kind of get a good gauge for it. And so once we kind of got 6 weeks in, you were kind of able to see, okay, balls being hit left, middle, right, outside the numbers, between the hash and the numbers. Like, okay, what does the data say in terms of where you need to place the ball at, the depth of the kick? Obviously, hang time doesn't end up mattering. So once you're kind of able to gather all those numbers and kind of compile it together, our analytics team does a great job with that, and it's kind of it's basically the formula has already written itself, and so like as the kicks happen, we can always just go check in and look at kind of what the data says on that.
As a turnover guy, what'd you think of Bynum and tell us yourself?
Come on, it's so funny. My friends and everybody around the league is like, they live for turnovers that happen from the Minnesota Vikings, because you never know what you're going to get next to those guys. And again, I think you can go ahead and crown us. Go and crown us as the best celebratory guys out there, team out there. Can't wait to see what we have next in store. I know it's always a pleasure to kind of see that right there and kind of get to go viral. But again, BZ, Metellus, I thought it's unfortunate they didn't get the Murph Superman one a couple weeks ago. I still haven't seen a good one of that. We got to get with these TV production people to make sure that they're keeping the cameras rolling on the defense when they're doing that.
So you picked up on the references each time when they do it?
No, I didn't say. I thought it was "You Got Served" when I saw it, but then it turns out it was White Chick, so I missed on that one.
Maybe they got that one on their list too.
Yeah, they might. We'll see.
How did Will handle time on IR?
I tell you, it was hard for him. It was really, really hard. I mean, it was funny after Romo had the 4-for-4 game. Really, even when he went on IR before Park even came back, it was just, Will was just angry, just really upset, just pissed off about just the whole situation. Just because he loves his teammates so much and he loves the opportunity to go out and compete at a high level, and he's always feels like he's letting his teammates down, and so it was a hard 4 weeks for him, just battling back. But, I just want to say what an unbelievable job he did of attacking it, staying true, trusting the process, trusting the athletic training staff on how they wanted to go about it, because, he was a little hesitant just kind of with the injury, wasn't sure, what the process looked like, because it was something that he did have in college, and he feels like, Alabama, they didn't handle it the best way there. And so he was just a little precautionary going into it, but he trusted it, he attacked it. And that's just who he is, though. Just having the right attitude and the right mindset wanting to get back and get back into it. But, you know, it was hard for him, though. It was really hard. I mean, he was angry all the time, actually. Like, so, but it's good. He's back in a good place.
I assume you saw that Parker got picked up. Just
I did, yeah. He FaceTimed me. He actually FaceTimed me yesterday, all ears, just, you know, saying how much he loves me and looking forward to it. And, you know, my message with him was just, you know, just don't get complacent in this league. You know, go in with the right mindset. You know, attack each and every day. Make sure you're preparing the right way, just like you did when you were here, when you was a guy. You know, even if you're on the P squad there, man, just make sure you're going about it the right way. Obviously, new build and new teammates. You know, make sure you make yourself comfortable there and just make the right decisions. But, yeah, I'm definitely happy for him. And odds are, you know, him and Joyce Sly actually was at Virginia Tech together. So that'll be an interesting dynamic on how that room is.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Appreciate y'all.